Hi, I'm Jim Knotts, President and CEO of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. Welcome to today's virtual reading of the names. 2022 marks the 40th anniversary of the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. As part of our commemoration, we'll host an in-person reading of the names at the wall from November 7th through 10th, 2022, when all 58,281 names on the wall will be read aloud. In the lead up to that event, we'll be reading names each day online while sharing the photos of these heroes. For our daily virtual reading, the names of the service members will be read by month and day of death between the years 1956 and 1975 in alphabetical order for the given day. We apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. Know that our readers are doing their best to honor these service members. We hope you'll listen and watch each day and share with others as we remember and honor those who gave their lives during the Vietnam War.
Roger Dale Alexander, Richard C. Allen, William Tam Arnold, Enver Badgen, Duncan Edward Bass Jr., Douglas Bruce Baum, Jeffrey Randolph Beardsley, Irwin Beek, David T. Brooks, Benjamin Brooks, Carl Brown, Lawrence Dean Brownotter, Edward Burke Burdett, Johnny Lee Burris, Richard Russell Buttry, Samuel Lee Carmichael, Ronald Henry Chittum, Richard Crosby Clark, William Anderson Collins, Michael Andrew Crabtree, Michael John Cromie, Lindsay Houston Crow, Donnie Lee Cunningham, James Albert Daly, Russell Glenn Daniels, Oscar Moise Darno Jr., David Vincent Delozier, Robert A. Donnell II, David Lee Doyle, John Watts Drinkhouse, Joseph Francis Dyer Jr., William Benjamin Ezel, Raymond Garcia Jr., James Salaz Gilbert, Thomas Milton Golden, Bradford Mark Graham, Oscar Lee Griffin, Louis Sam Gutierrez, Kenneth Dwayne Harjo, Thomas Joseph Hartman, Robert Allen Hartwell, Cleveland Ray Harvey, Leslie John Hauer, Donald Henry Holm, David Rodney Holt, Gary Dwayne Hudson, Michael Gene Isley, Dale William Johnson, Momi Nuhai Kane, Andrew Gregory Kirchmeyer, Thomas Allison Nopick, James Willis Leach, William Groom Leftwich Jr., Edward William Lenhoff Jr., Lloyd Lester Long, James E. Lyons, Douglas Graham Magruder, Randall Paul Manella, William Reynolds Martin, Frank Martinez, Jerry Eugene Maurer, Everett Lee Maxwell, John Frederick McDermott, William Bernard McGarvey, Richard Dale McGee, Benton Lewis Miller, William Joseph Murray Jr., William Allen Polensky, James Dalton Parker, Hartwig Ralph Poole, Charles Alfred Pope Jr., Charles Arthur Poppleton, Joseph Michael Ragsdale, Frank Vincent Raz, Willie Reed, William Goodrow Rich, Gary Lee Ricard, Charles Howard Ritchie, Thomas J. Riley, Charles Harvey Robinson, Joaquin Rodriguez, Orville Curtis Rogers Jr., Ivan David Roth, Ignacio Sanchez, Wayne Sangalo, Robert John Shars, Hugh Don Scott, Donald P. Smith, Raymond Eugene Smoot, Mike Anthony Solano, Cody's R. Sowell, Ricky D. Sparks, Donald Edwin Spence, John Frank Stockman, James Edward Stoltz Jr., Harmon S. Stone Jr.,
James David Suggs, Eli Edward Swartzlander, Dwight Joseph Taylor, Matthew Alonzo Thomas Jr., Ignacio Torres Jr., Robert Eugene Tucker, Frederick Pierce Victoria, Fernando Villasana, Paul Winton Whaler Jr., Willie J. Washington Jr., Leonard B. Washington Jr., Billy Joe Waymeyer, Noah Williams, Harry Conard Wilson II, Robert Henderson Wilson Jr., Warren Kenneth Wolfe, Herman W. O. Wright Jr., Kanji Yoshino, Jimmy Dean Youngblood,